So we've run through all that. So I run a company called Helix Sports Performance, based out of Perth, Western Australia. Obviously, I just said this quote resonates with me because there was some things I was doing when I got back to Australia from the States, which I'll run through, which weren't working, and that's why I found NPE. Basically, I come from a German heritage where I grew up in a family where my parents couldn't really speak English. Until I was about 7, I was failing primary school and they just pushed me through because my English and my literacy skills weren't up to standard. My teachers consistently told my parents I would never become anything and I would, be a tradie my whole life. Same thing came out of high school. I fell into soccer and I got a scholarship with soccer at Woodvale Senior High School. Basically, I winged my entire way through high school and then somehow got into university via portfolio entry. So that portfolio entry led me into studying sports science. When I first started out sports science, I had this dream that I wanted to train athletes. And yet people, you know how many people do sports science and no one ever trains athletes. People always said that I would never actually train athletes and I would never get anywhere in it. So I wanted to prove them wrong. I started personal training straight away when I started my sports science degree, and I've been a personal trainer for 5 to 6 years now. I went and finished my sports science degree, and then I got accepted into my master's in strength and conditioning. I was getting through my master's in S&C, and then I thought I don't really have any practical experience with working with athletes, so I needed to make a change and I needed to improve myself as a coach. So I went out and actually applied for 200 internships in the States, and I got accepted into 3. From that, I chose University of Arizona. I had 10 weeks to prepare for an internship and flew over to Arizona. So that's me just doing an embarrassing pose. So basically, I get to Arizona my first day, and the head coach, Rob, he says to me, all right, I want you to go over to that big blonde guy and take him through an ab circuit. And I was like, okay, cool, we'll get this done. So we crushed this guy, and then he said to me at the end, do you know who that is? And I was like, no. And he goes, oh, that's Matt Grievers. He's got 4 Olympic gold medals and 2 silvers in swimming. And I thought to myself, all right, I'm actually coaching athletes now. I've made it. So this is my friend Ben. So Arizona just beat Arizona State in the Pac-12 South Championship. So that was near my last day there. So I finished up my internship and it was back to Perth, and when I was in Arizona I had an opportunity at another D1 school, but I turned it down because I always knew my passion was to open my own facility. I started working in a commercial gym, as a lot of you guys do, and I just knew that probably I was going to outgrow that pretty soon. When I first started out MPE, I knew that I didn't really know where I was in business. I didn't really know how I was doing. So this is a quote which came up at the start of my MPE course. You have to know exactly where you're starting from so you know where you have to go. This Facebook ad comes up and it says, like, do you want to improve your business or something like that? And I opt into that, and then I get on the phone with Nathan. Nathan sells me on that, hands me over to Rick, and then Rick sells me straight away, obviously. The picture there, that's just from my facility at the moment. So I had a friend of mine come and do that. So basically I run a small facility at the moment. It's like 85 square meter studio, so it's pretty small. But anyway, back to the investment. So the investment, I really couldn't afford it, and they laid the bombshell of the price on me at the time, and I thought, like, I'm 24, I've just come back from the States earning $4.90 an hour in a bar on the side of the internship. So could it hurt? Definitely not. I definitely knew that it was a step I needed to take in my business. First, when I come back, when I was in the States, I was basically blogging what I was doing over in the States, and as soon as I got back and I kind of announced on Facebook that I was opening up my own place, I had Scott Neville message me, I went to high school with him, and he said, do you want to take me through my off season? I said, yeah, sure. So I took him through his off season S&C for 6 weeks, which led me on to Brent, which led me on to Roston. And then for next off season, I've got 2 Socceroos coming in to train with me in the off season. So the moral of the story is there, it all starts with one, and you only need one big break to get somewhere. Why I started, obviously, the satisfaction of getting results for your clients and athletes, and I wanted to be my own boss. really don't, in the past, in personal training, you always have like clashes with your managers and all that kind of stuff, and I knew working for myself was going to be something that I needed to do, and obviously the income potential is not as capped when you're in a facility because you can bring in your own clients. Roadblocks, having no idea about business. So obviously I'm a passionate coach and I love coaching, and I have absolutely no idea about business. My worth and my pricing, that's a big stumbling block and still is, but Coach Matt's helped me out with that a lot. Not realizing how much you're worth is a big thing. Knowing your numbers, which is huge, which we've run through all morning. Like I didn't have any idea about how many sessions I was doing a week, how much I was making. Each person was being charged differently. Staffing problems, which I've also spoke about with Coach Matt. Like I struggled to let go of the coaching responsibility, and I want to coach everyone. I want to coach 50, 60 hours a week, and I want to hand over the reins. So with Coach Matt, I've actually hired 2 interns, which is interns I say they're learning off me, and they take over some of the coaching responsibility now, which is something that I need to do for my business to grow. And having the system. So in the past, someone would inquire of you via Facebook and you just completely wing it, send them a message, ask them if they want to, join up, and there was no system involved. And obviously there's level 1 in the accelerators gives you a system for that and a sales system, and then obviously level 2 with the marketing helps out with that as well. So obviously dive into the level 1 content of the Evolution Accelerator, and it is quality content, stuff that I've never been exposed to before, and it helps out. There's a massive improvement in my business initially. First month, obviously sales explosion, and then I made my initial investment back, so $7,842. Gives me strategy and hope and belief. So that $7,842 might not seem a lot to you guys, but I just came from the States and I was earning $4.90 an hour, so that was absolutely massive for me. The Facebook Likers campaign, I posted this on the group probably 4 months ago. So I had a coaching call, I think my second coaching call with Jackie, and we discussed about people that like your page and they're not, you're not actually doing anything with that like. So Jackie suggested that I go and message them. So basically I would say, hey, thanks for liking my page, Helix Sports Performance. What are your goals? Is there anything I can help you with? And surprisingly, majority of people would reply. And then that obviously turned into $8,160 worth of new sales in the first 3 months, which is massive. I would suggest anyone that's not doing that to do that. So my monthly income was up over 200%, which was also massive in the second month. So, I was really picking up momentum at that time. Time efficiency, so I switched over more to a semi-private model from private stuff, because obviously the return on your time is a lot higher. And then I still to this day have not failed a consultation, so conversion. So it's 100% right now. So 21-day girls at squat challenge, it's very not like what we do with the athletes. So I spoke to Coach Matt about that, and it was, the general fitness and general population was something that obviously is a huge market, as you're all aware. So I kind of launched that 21-day girls at squat challenge on my Facebook campaign. I used a template in lesson 2A of level 2 to set up a lead page, posted it to all my social media channels, and then I got a massive response from that. So 17 inquiries, that was within like an hour. And then I shut that down, 5 consults, and then I sold all 5. The 5 that I did sell, they were all into other programs, because the logistics of actually doing it actually didn't work out for times, but it works. Oop. So third month, I hit my initial goal that I set with Rick on our first sales call. So that was generating a 6-figure income by the end of the year. Complete stress relief. I had all the systems and tactics that I needed to go forward. Basically, I was wasting a lot of time doing things that weren't growing my business, and Evolution Accelerators helped me realize that. Enjoy life. So I could say comfortably in the last 6 months, I've been on more holidays than I have in the last 5 years, and I'm not sure if that's the extra income or it's just I've got time off now, or I can take time off. So the future, next year I plan to open a new facility, so we're probably looking at about 250 square meters. Helix Sports Performance Online is an aspect that I'm going down now, where I had an athlete from Melbourne email me and he asked me for a program, and I thought, if there's a need for this, I can definitely go out and start coaching online. So that's developing at the moment. So we're launching an online website with all the videos and training plans, all that kind of stuff at the moment, working with my web guy for that. I've had a lot of guys that I've just been coaching online at the moment without the website and all that set up. Working on my business rather than in my business, so I'm giving more control over to these interns, which will be obviously paid employees once they're done. And then that's going to allow us to coach more athletes, reach a larger number of people. So big thanks to Coach Matt, he's helped me out a lot. I am, sometimes I get a little bit headstrong and I get set in my ways, and Matt's just helped me out massively with a lot of things. Mr. Persistent, Nathan, he is always persistent, calling me up, telling me, asking me if I'm coming to mega training, if I'm interested in VIP, how am I going with this, and I appreciate that, Matty. And big thanks to you guys for hearing me out. Been really nervous today, but I got it done, and thanks to MPE for the nomination.